So we're back and discussing and continuing our discussion on the inferiority feeling and the anxiety that you might get when you see another male. And so far we discussed about the ugly, big, ugly men, other males that you see, and we discussed the connotations there and the roots of it and tried to see what goes on in the malfunctioned brain, which is hard to know when it's not malfunctioning, let alone when it is. Now we want to talk about why is it that we feel the same kind of a feeling when we see a good-looking guy, like a movie star. But before we go into that, it is very important for you to notice the following, that it is all perfectly normal that we notice other things and how they are designed. And as a human beings, we appreciate well-designed, good looks, good-natured, things that makes us feel we identify with, especially if you yourself are good looking, good natured, positive person. Naturally, you would be interested to have friends of that sort or notice that these such qualities in other people. And that's perfectly normal. You have this natural propensity to recognize the good in the others, whether it's good looks, whether it's good manners, whether it's good energy, and you feel happy to be around them because this is what we humans are looking for. A positive environment, a good energy environment, a person that is pleasant in behavior, in energy, in interaction, in looks. It's all part of what we notice in nature. We are inclined to notice, we are designed to notice these things. These are part of our characteristics to advancements, to notice things that are better than the other things around as far as capabilities, the way it interacts, the way it makes you feel comfortable. These are all part of being a human. So there's nothing wrong with the idea of if you see someone handsome, recognize that he's handsome. That's not a homosexuality. That's the nature of human being that is always looking for something that could enhance its appreciation of what nature has created. And that is how we are. We notice good designs, we notice good material, we notice refined things. This is how we advance ourselves, by being capable, being able to notice all these differences. And noticing someone who's handsome is in nature of a handsome person himself. If you're handsome and good looking and good natured and positive energy, naturally you will be easily noticing others who would have the same traits. And this is how it's supposed to be. It's normal. Don't think that, oh, I noticed that person was handsome, that means a homosexual reaction. No. That's how we are designed. Human beings are always looking for something that differentiates itself in a positive way from other things that is available. So rest assured and relax that these are normal reactions, and you should be noticing things, the differences between things. And if it's a bad design, bad looks, good design, good looks, like any other thing, any other things that exist in this world, other human beings are the same, and it's perfectly fine. And you should be, especially if you're of good nature, you're noticing good-natured people in looks or behavior, energy, all the same. This is specifically normal because in human nature, from thousands of years ago, we've always been seeking that psychological security, and therefore we're looking for commonalities. So if you're a good-looking person, all good-looking people around the world, they're all scattered around. They never have a group or any solidarity. There's one here, one there, and they're always among the majority of not good-looking people. Or if you're good-natured and positive energy person, kind and compassionate and normal and balanced, obviously you don't have too many people that could share that kind of a character, and therefore you're always among the majority of not so upstanding type of interaction, people who interact properly or upbringing, and don't find necessarily a group that would all be of a good-natured, positive energy people. So finding someone, when you see someone, another male who's good looking or good natured, positive energy, you feel happy because naturally you want to belong to a group to feel more secure, as security of all kind have been sought after things since thousands and thousands of years ago. Security in any different dimensions, especially psychological security. And this interest in other good-looking people, it's because that's how it is for human beings, to find a group that can identify with. So therefore, it is a natural for you to feel happy around people who are good-natured, positive people, or good-looking. And of course, some people are good-looking, later on you find out they're assholes. But that's a different story. And their character and behavior or mentality is not balanced or proper to the standards that one would expect. But at the beginning, there's a commonality between you being good-looking and somebody else being good-looking. So naturally, you notice it and you would be happy to be around them or to get to know them, or it's a pleasant experience. And that's perfectly normal. That's how human being is in any gender whatsoever. And that's definitely, it's got nothing to do with any homosexuality inclination or any of that sort. So have that in mind, and let's go on with the rest of our discussion. Well, obviously, we all, as heterosexual males, we love girls. We want girls. And when you see a good-looking guy, or let's say a movie star, well, you know that he's getting all the girls, whether it's happening in the movie, you see it as a part of the story, or the fact that we all know if somebody is a movie star, they have a better chance to get many pretty women. So knowing that creates that we would feel that they are superior because they're getting the attention of the girls, which we want. And since they're getting the kudos and the appreciation or the attention of the girls, therefore we suddenly feel that they have something that we don't have, which makes us feel inferior and makes us respect that ability to get the girls, which translates to power again. Because we think that's a special ability to be able to get, pretty girls and so on. So therefore, to us, that's a speciality which represents respect. And that respect is because it's happening in our mind, knowing the parameter is sexual, talking about the man getting the girls, so it's about sex. Therefore, in our brain, that respect is translated into envy, because we all want to sex with a woman. So that envy then, because it's about the concept of sex, the brain runs it as a respect or interest or inferiority feelings and translates it into homosexual feelings towards that male, the movie star. The main reason is that the brain has no gender. So it's not thinking about what you're thinking. It's just thinking about that process of thinking, and it's happening in the setting of or topic of sex, and therefore it's a little bit stupid because brain is not the center of intelligence, just makes thoughts, and thoughts are not the same as intelligence. So it goes on a tangent that it simply can understand. It can understand sex, it can understand feelings, interprets them, but it does its own thing. It's not representing what you are thinking or you are interested in, because it's doing its own calculations, as 80,000-90,000 a day intrusive thoughts it makes, so it doesn't miss a beat to create another intrusive thoughts here. So in this case, he's translating into something that is not your suggestion, not your interest. You're thinking about the envy, you're thinking about that the superiority of that movie star because he gets the girl. That has turned and translated into power in you, but the brain has turned it into something that is totally not on your agenda at all. And so don't be fooled by the connotations that the brain brings, because brain is its own entity. It's an organ. On its own, it has no gender. So therefore, it can think and create thoughts in all dimensions, because it is not having any inclination. It's just a calculating machine or processing machine. Depending on what subject is, it creates things. That's why it creates 80,000-90,000 thoughts a day, and most of them are intrusive. And everyone on this earth has intrusive thoughts, because that's what it does. Why? Because again, it's not discriminating. It just does calculation processes, and whatever it does, it conjures it up, spits it out, without considering who you are, what your gender is. Just does that. It's up to you to filter what these thoughts are, and then say, well, that's not pertaining my gender, that's not pertaining my interest or my inclination, therefore I diss it and let it be as a thought, as one of the millions of thoughts that brain manufactures, and I won't fuss with it. I just go about it understanding that that's what brain does, makes thoughts. But what it makes doesn't represent me, and I should know that and not to be bothered by it, to allow myself to data hunt and try to prove it and find out where's the roots of this. There is no such thing. Nothing has changed in you. Brain does its own thinking. As long as you understand that it's the brain that is thinking in this way as a sexual interest, then you are free to understand that nothing has been attacked. You've not been attacked. Nothing has happened with you. Nothing will happen to you. Separate yourself from the brain. Brain is an organ, does its thing, and it creates these kind of thoughts. And those thoughts do not represent you, because you are the one who's going to filter these nonsense. And therefore you understand that it can do its job, but you are the one who protects who you are and pays attention and interest to what your inclination is. It's not the job of the brain. Brain just makes thoughts. And most importantly, brain doesn't have a gender. It's a machine, a material process, mechanical process. But you do. You have a gender. So you, based on what your gender is, you simply don't be bamboozled or pay attention to the thought that is created by the brain, especially the malfunction brain. So on that note, let's move on to the next part of our discussions about the roots of HOCD next time. Talk to you soon.